All right, good day, everyone. Thanks for joining us again for another video related to the Service Pack 13 dev sessions that we just attended this week. Right now, we're just following up with a couple of keynotes around the admin console. So I'm here with Carl, and Carl's going to explain to us a couple of cool things that came out with the Service Pack 13. So Carl, to kind of kick it off, I think in the intro you mentioned something about global search, and what I'm kind of wondering is, does this really mean global or universal search, or what exactly is this global search thing?
That's a good question. So basically, global search is a very cool feature they've introduced in that service pack, where in the admin console you'll have a search bar directly in the main page. So because one thing that customer were giving us as a feedback is, yes, that console is a lot more simpler. So instead of configuring storage policies and then global dedo and things like that, you just create a storage pool, and you're good. Yes, it's less click in that case. But what if I wanted to reach a client properties page? Well, in that case, you've got to expand solutions, then the desired solution, and then reach the client, and so on and so on. So that's a lot of clicks. So in that case, with that search bar, what you can do, you can just type in a client name, a VM group name, whatever you're looking for, and it'll actually bring you directly to that entity in the sidebar in the browser. So that way, it makes it a lot easier to reach the components you want to reach without having to go through too many clicks.
So what you're saying is, if you're new to Commvault or you've been using Commvault for a while, and perhaps the admin console is somewhat new to you, really all you want to do is find an object. You can just simply type that name into the field, and it'll bring you to that location.
Exactly. Not only that, but it's going to give you a result. So you may, with the pattern that you've typed in, you might have multiple entries that correspond to that pattern. So they'll be listed. It's going to be up to you to choose the one you want to actually reach, and it'll bring you to that objects page.
Wow, it sounds pretty easy. So is there anything else that we can do in terms of shortcutting things and getting things, getting to our destination more quickly?
Absolutely. Something pretty cool as well they've introduced are the favorites. So the sidebar can be kind of customized with the objects you are concerned about. So, for example, if you're a Linux administrator, you couldn't care less about the Windows machines and things like that. So would you really want to go into servers and see all that? Well, what you could do is actually create favorites. So there's going to be a pane that you can click, and you'll see just the objects that you've set as favorites. So it could be Linux machines, it could be plans, it could be whatever you want to put in there. But those will be your favorite objects that you can easily reach through a single click.
So this is in addition to the option to customize the interface. We have that with the admin console. You can now add some sort of a shortcut.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, that seems pretty handy.
Yes.
So one of the other topics I think you mentioned in our intro segment was the ability to integrate more of the storage arrays. And we've known for a long time that Commvault is definitely a leader in this space, supporting many different array types. What's the key point here in terms of the admin console?
Well, this was asked for a while now. We had that IntelliSnap integration in the CommCell console for since the beginning, but it was not yet ported into the admin console. Finally, in that service pack, because it was a lot of work from the development team, they finally were able to make it happen. So now the array management applet is available in the admin console. So therefore, you can manage your storage arrays in IntelliSnap scenarios where you would like to implement storage array snapshots.
So one other trick question here is if somebody's looking to see what Commvault support in terms of arrays and array management, where would you recommend that they look?
Absolutely. Always go to our Commvault's online documentation site. There is a section on all the supported arrays. So this is, and that list constantly evolves. We're adding new storage arrays every service pack, new device models, so always refer to our online documentation for that.
Excellent. Now this is kind of a little bit different from just the hardware platform and how we use it. Something else that we heard in Service Pack 13 is more development around machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Yes,
So,
that's an interesting topic. Not only now are we running backups with our backup environment, but we're also learning about your environment. So, for instance, I'll give you a quick example of that. Let's say every Tuesday you're running backups on that specific server, and it usually takes like an hour and a half to run. If one day that server, that backup that you run on that machine takes longer than that, so let's say 3 hours, well, most likely there is something going on with that server. Well, with our machine learning mechanism that we've introduced a little while ago, now we will be able to actually flag that there is something going on with that server. So not only will we show you that as an event, so in the events view, we now have a new view, which is called the anomaly view, where you'll see all those anomalies occurring. But also, there's a report that will show you all the anomalies that occurred in your environment, and you can drill down that report to get more information if needed.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty convenient. So it allows us to quickly target perhaps problems and jump to the troubleshooting right away. Now, what if I'm not exactly watching the console or reading my reports every day? Is there anything else that we can do?
Well, you could easily set alerts to notify you in that case. So there are many tools now. You shouldn't not be aware that something is behaving unexpectedly in your environment. So you should be aware that something is going on.
Excellent. All right. So one of the other things that we've talked about a long time with the admin console is, for existing customers, this is kind of a transition. So what are we doing to help existing customers transition and start using the admin console?
Yes, to try to smooth that transition, because you got to consider an existing customer, if they were to transition to the admin console, which is using plans, not storage policies, not global dedo. It's all defined by storage pools, storage plans. It's a complete different mentality, different approach. So to smooth that transition, Service Pack 13 now introduces storage policies, scheduled policies, and subclient policies directly in the admin console.
So are you saying that we should still use storage policies or scheduled policies?
If it's an existing customer and they've been using the product for years, everything the entire strategy is already built on storage policies, scheduled policies. So for these guys, they could keep on using policies in that case in the admin console. For new customers, they should not go that route. They should go the plans and storage pools route instead. This is why that option is introduced, but only for existing customers. If you're a new customer deploying Commvault, the options to create scheduled policies, subclient policies, and storage policies won't be available for you. It's only for existing customers which are transitioning to the admin console.
That's a great point. So for existing customers, this is the ability to sort of adopt and change over time, perhaps adding plans and pools as you go along and need to add new features. For new customers, we still want to kind of promote going the plan and the pool route because it's obviously simplified and has much more scalability and advantages in the admin console. So thanks for watching this video. This is Carl once again, and we'll wrap it up. Hopefully you'll stay tuned for another segment. Thank you.